This is a DGHradio.com news and information United States Virgin Islands weather review.
Hey everyone, welcome. We're going to break down the weather for the U.S. Virgin Islands for the week ahead, just so you know exactly what to expect.
So here's what we've got on tap. We're going to look at the big picture, the tropical outlook. Then we'll dive into your short-term forecast, talk about a really important hazard, dangerous rip currents, and check out a tropical wave coming this weekend. After that, a peek at next week, and we'll wrap it all up with the key takeaways.
Okay, let's dive right in. First up, the big picture. And when we're talking weather here, the first thing on everyone's mind is always the tropical outlook.
And right off the bat, we've got some really good news. The National Hurricane Center is saying, and I quote, "Tropical cyclone formation is not expected during the next 7 days." That is exactly what we like to see. The entire Caribbean Sea looks clear for the next week.
So, with the tropics looking quiet, what's happening right here at home? Let's get into your short-term forecast. And honestly, it's looking pretty nice for the next couple of days.
All right, so for today, we're looking at partly cloudy skies, with highs hovering right around 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, moving into Friday, you'll see a few more sunny spells, and it's going to get a tad warmer, up to about 91. But here's the real change to watch for: the wind. It's going to pick up, getting pretty breezy with gusts hitting up to 25 miles per hour. And that wind, that's not just a little breeze. It's actually connected to our first big hazard. So if you're thinking about hitting the beach, you absolutely need to pay attention to this next part.
Look, the National Weather Service is not mincing words here. They're saying life-threatening rip currents are likely within the surf zone. I want to be super clear. This isn't one of those, maybe be careful advisories. They are flagging a genuine life-threatening risk.
So what does this mean for you? Well, this all starts late today, and by Friday, we're looking at a high risk all day long. This is mainly going to affect the north and east-facing beaches of the U.S. Virgin Islands. And the reason? There's a northerly swell spreading across the Atlantic, and it's going to build the seas up to around 6 feet or even higher. That's what's going to create those really dangerous conditions.
Okay, so after we get through that, we need to turn our attention to the weekend because there's a pretty big shift coming, a change to much wetter weather, especially on Sunday.
And how big of a shift are we talking? Well, check this out. 60%. That's the chance of rain on Sunday. It's a huge jump for both St. Thomas and St. Croix.
So what's bringing all this rain? It's a tropical wave. And what that does is bring in this deep surge of tropical moisture. We're talking about water values in the atmosphere way above average for this time of year. That's going to lead to mostly cloudy skies with a whole lot of showers, maybe even some isolated thunderstorms. And with that much rain coming down, there's a definite risk for some urban and small stream flooding. So, something to keep an eye on.
So, after we get through that soggy Sunday, what happens next? What does the start of the new week look like? Well, the good news is things start to settle back down.
On Monday, you can see it's still going to be a bit breezy, and there's a chance for isolated showers as that moisture moves out. Rain chance drops way down to 20%. Then, by Tuesday, we're looking at a pretty typical fair weather day, breezy and partly cloudy. And Wednesday, more of the same, breezy with maybe a few scattered afternoon showers popping up, but nothing like Sunday.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground. Let's boil it all down to the most important points. Here are your key weather takeaways for the week.
First and foremost, respect the water. That rip current risk on Friday, especially on north-facing beaches, is life-threatening. Just stay out of the water there. Step 2, plan for a wet Sunday. Expect a lot of showers and be aware of potential flooding. It's a good time to check your drains and just be ready for some ponding on the roads. And finally, for all the mariners out there, take note. Small craft should definitely exercise caution as the winds pick up and the seas get choppy this weekend. And there you have it. That's your weather review. The bottom line is, enjoy the great weather we have now, but stay aware and be prepared for those hazards showing up this weekend. You've got the forecast, so the only question left is, are your weekend plans weather ready?